Everyone, I'm Allison. Thank you for joining me for Where I'm From 238 with Celeste. Um, I hope you are hanging in there and that you are finding the small joys and hope every day. Um, Sometimes it can be a real challenge. What have you been reading? I read The Perils of Girlhood, a memoir and essays by Melissa Frederico. I really enjoyed it. So I related to a lot of it. I just appreciate how many people are writing about things that are difficult to live through, and we're sort of glossed over by our society and culture, and now we're able to look back and discuss them and give them the weight and seriousness that they deserve. Um, Celeste, I've invited you to join me a couple times. Let me know if you can't join. We'll try again. Oh, here you are. Hello.
Hi, Allison. It's
Hi,
great to be here.
Celeste.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah.
How are you doing? It's a very challenging time to be a human.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Um, Having to strike the balance of how much news to listen to and when you need to turn it off and not talk about it anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And doing what we can do.
Yes.
There's some things we had just wrote a bunch of emails to my school board because the teachers are trying to reach a deal and we should support our teachers and educators.
Yes.
So there are things we can do
Hmm.
and some things we can't unfortunately change right at this current moment. So is there anything you would like to share or before you read your poem?
Uh, no, I mean, I maybe we should just jump in.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for
Okay.
it.
All right. Where I'm from. I'm from cotton hand-me-downs, hemmed to fit, from carnation powdered milk that stretched what the milkman brought in glass bottles with wire handles, and Nabisco shredded wheat in one big sinewy biscuit that filled our bowls and slowly softened to mush as we ate. I'm from racing to reach the black rotary phone first when it rang, yelling with the rest, "I'll get it." I am from the rambling greenhouse whose multitude of window panes overlooked spreading oaks dripping Spanish moss, bright magenta azaleas, and the piles of soggy leaves that broke our thrilling fall when we let go of the swinging rope on a well-deserved break from raking that ample yard. I am from shelling peas and picking wild blackberries, from baby fine pageboys with too short bangs, from collecting Coke bottles from ditches to trade in at the 7-Eleven for double bubble gum with its tiny comic tucked inside. I am from Mildred and Claudia, from Laura Jane and Frederick Thomas Carnes III. I am from the Business Before Pleasures and Waste Not, Want Nots, from $5 birthday gifts for your college education. I'm from Children's Choir and Bell Choir, MYF and Doe-Eyed Jesus with wavy brown hair. I'm from way down in Killarney and Lookaway Dixieland, fried okra, tuna casserole topped with cracker crumbs, and homemade vanilla ice cream with summer peaches. From 16-year-old grandmother teaching in a one-room schoolhouse, the whispers about her brother, the black sheep drunk, and what Mama said we each looked like when we were born. I am from the hum of the old black and gold sewing machine, the smell of grandfather's pipe tobacco, and waking from a nightmare to sneak into the warm comfort of Mama's bed. I took root in the wet terracotta of the East Texas big thicket, and wherever else I journey, my blood still smells of pine and clay. Thank
That was beautiful, Celeste. Very
you.
transporting. My husband's people are from Texas, so a lot of that reminded me of his grandparents, who are very dear to me. So I'm getting emotional just thinking about them.
Yeah.
So thank you. Um, what and also my own experiences with the running to get the rotary phone, and all the double bubble with the little, just terrible comics.
Oh, I know, but we were so thrilled to get
I
them
know,
anyway.
I know, I was too. And then I think almost every time I hoped it would be funny. I was like, oh no, that's not what this is. Um,
Did
so
you
well,
did you turn in Coke bottles for the
no, mm-mm.
deposit? You know?
No. And I grew up in like suburbia. I grew up in
Yeah,
Orange County, California. I mean, when there were still oranges, but still suburbia.
yeah,
Where my husband's grandparents grew up in, tiny towns, and we went and visited where his grandmother was from, and they're all buried there, and
yeah,
it's a small place.
yeah,
It's a small place, but it was home. So I I just, it's not something I experienced, but it's something that means something to me because of them, and also of all the other people who grew up in these places, and our friends and family and loved ones.
yeah.
So what was it like for you writing the poem?
It was good. I had written it, I think, about 6 or 7 years ago,
Mhm.
um, and I it was a difficult childhood,
Mhm.
and I have spent so much of my, especially the latter half of my adult life, kind of going back and healing from it,
Yeah.
that I have tended to focus on the dark parts of it.
Hmm. Hmm.
But writing the poem was good for me because it helped me to connect with
Hmm.
just the normal nostalgic feelings
Yeah.
of,
Hmm.
for that time.
Hmm.
So it was good.
Yeah. Did you find that you had made a choice to do that, or is that what just came naturally when you were writing it?
Yeah, it just came naturally.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose some people have done it the other way, but to me it
For
was
sure.
just,
Me.
yeah. I heard
Yeah.
you I heard you write one every birthday.
I do write one every birthday, and
Yeah,
I've tried the past couple of years to sort of do a little bit more of because there's so many things that I loved about my childhood and where I'm from, and obviously, I'm listening to 238 of these has just kind of validated my this belief I had that where we're from is foundational to who we are.
yes,
And I've said it many times, but for a long time I felt silly that I couldn't let it go or move on, or sort of put it in its proper place.
hmm
Um,
hmm
and I have spent a lot of time healing too, and it's an ongoing process as far as I can tell. But it is nice to remember things that were
yeah,
special and joyful, and similarly to how I feel about now sometimes, where it's like I have to find the things, I have to find the joy and the hope each day, and um that's a lot how it was then too.
yeah. That's right. And no matter how hard you tried to run away from
Right.
where you grew up, I mean, I got married when I was 19 and
Mhm.
just immediately left. And actually, my
Yeah.
husband and I lived in Europe for a couple of years, and then we lived
Mhm.
all different places, around this country and in Canada. But we ended up back in this area. We're in
Oh,
Houston,
oh yeah.
and have been for a good while. Um, but I retired a couple of years ago, supposedly. I kind of got roped back in to where I
Yeah.
used to work, but after I retired, I wrote my first novel,
Hmm.
and I started working on a second novel, and it all goes back to those roots of the East Texas piney woods, big
Hmm.
thicket area, because that's, even though I haven't lived in those small towns in a
Hmm.
long time. Um, it's still who I am. It's my favorite kind of landscape,
Yeah.
So yeah, even though I probably wouldn't fit in with the culture there anymore, but
Yeah, which is similar with me. I mean, where I grew up, it's certainly a much more uh money centric sort of place, but like,
hmm
um the ocean and the tide pools and just the water, and but I still have a lot of that in my life. I feel very fortunate. Yeah, I think I don't know if you've read Braiding Sweet Grass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. Have you?
I have,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
and it's so great. I love her, but the way she talked about how that's like it's like our family, the environment, the natural environment that we grew up with, and that
yeah,
when we move, it takes us time to sort of acclimate and get to know new plants and trees and
yeah,
birds, um and that was such a beautiful thing to learn, because it is funny when you move, it's like, oh, what's what are the rhythms of this place,
yeah,
and the creatures, and um yeah, there is,
yeah,
I would imagine for you, when you go to the piney woods, the smell and
yeah,
the light, and
yeah,
that just feel like they're in you. Oh, there
yeah,
goes my speaking of, there goes my
yeah.
light. um
Yeah.
um
Do you know John O'Donohue, the Irish poet and writer?
Not off, I mean, I may have,
Yeah,
I'm not very good at remembering
yeah,
sometimes
that's
what I've
okay.
read. Yeah.
He also has said something about the place, the land where you
Mhm.
have where you're from and where you have taken care of it.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
He says that not only do you love the land, but the land loves you,
Yeah.
and that when you leave, it misses you, and when
Oh.
you get back, it's glad, and when you die, it mourns you, but
Mhm,
then you get buried in it, and it's it has you.
mhm.
Of course, you know the Irish in who have stayed in Ireland have are really much more connected with their land than
Yes.
we mobile Americans. But
Yeah.
I love that thought of his.
Yeah. And I think also, returning to our ancestors, even if it's long ago,
Yes.
my husband and I joke about, we'll watch films or read literature from Ireland, and
Mm-hmm.
um, it's like, oh, there's something comforting about it, even though it was, well, that's the most recent for me. But
Yeah.
yeah. And I went to college where my mother and her family grew up. And I do think that was part of the reason I went to college there. I sort of just wanted to understand that part of her and of my history, even though I wasn't like, this is what I'm doing, I'm going to learn about this. But I think that there was, um, a part of me that wanted to return to the Midwest. And I have a soft spot for the Midwest. I mean, I don't know, everywhere has something wonderful, I think.
Yeah. That's right.
And even just listening to your voice reminds me of of some of my husband's family. Your accent isn't exactly the same, but I mean, it's similar, and sort of um it's so interesting too, because so many people, especially here, intentionally lose their accents.
Well, my accent is not as strong as it
No,
was once.
no, I'm sure
Yeah.
not. No, yours is very sort of subtle, lilting. It's like, yeah. No, if you went back there, though, I would imagine that it kicks right back in. No?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. His does. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You just,
I had to reform my husband's extreme accent when we got married because he would say things like, "I'm washing the dishes."
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. You got married at 19. You're still married.
Yes, we are.
I mean, that's
48 years.
incredible.
Yeah.
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 I mean, because lots of times that story does not end that way.
Yeah.
So good for you two.
Well,
Um,
we're fortunate.
yeah, and that you had a partner on this in this life.
Yes, and there's something to be said for all those decades of shared memories.
It is nice. It's sort of, I think, an under talked about thing, like just someone who knows you in that way. I mean, my husband and I have been together 26 years. And so not as long as you, but it's something to have someone who says, well, you acted like you reacted this way 10 years ago to this thing, like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's,
They know you sometimes a little too well.
yeah. I mean, but it's really, I just like saw something that was like, your spouse is your one uh family member you get to choose. So
Mm-hmm.
choose wisely. Don't just pick any old person. And I hadn't really thought about it like that before. Um, yeah, everyone else, it's like, okay, let's see how this goes. Um, any other reflections or anything else you'd like to share?
No, I just appreciate you having me on. It's been such a pleasure to talk with you.
Yes, thank you for joining me and sharing your home. These really helped me just kind of feel less alone and encouraging, because I think for me personally, I think when things get very overwhelming, sometimes art takes a back seat because it
Mm-hmm.
feels less significant or worth, which is the opposite of the truth, but it just can feel that way. And I know that it's important for me to hear others' stories. And so,
Yeah, we
um,
really need this human connection.
yeah, yeah. Um, and just centering words and art and
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you so much, Celeste, and good luck being back at work. I'm sure
All
that's an
right.
adjustment.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you, Allison.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye.